Greetings. My name is Ayman Tarabishi. I'm Deputy Chair of the Department of Management at the George Washington University School of Business. I am delighted to be here to introduce two colleagues of mine, Lex McCusker and Scott Stein from the Office of Innovation and Entrepreneurship, to help promote an exciting and a widely adventurous but also high learning activity called the New Venture Competition at GW. Lex is the Director of Student Engagement of Entrepreneurship at GW, and Scott is the Associate Director. Lex, greetings, welcome to be here. We're very excited to learn about the New Venture Competition of GW. Why don't you tell us more about it?
Great to be here. Let me share my screen. All right, can you see it?
Yes, we do.
All right, well, good morning, everyone. I want to talk about the 2021 GW New Venture Competition. I'm Lex McCuskers, and this is my contact information. So one thing you want to make sure you can feel free to reach out to me. Here's Scott's contact information. And of course, you know Ayman as well. So, and Ayman, we'll find a way to make these slides available to everybody, I presume. So I want to talk about three things today. I want to talk regarding the New Venture Competition. The first is how it works. First is what it is, give you an overview. Then Scott will talk about how it works so that you know how you go about getting engaged in the competition. And then I'm going to come back and give some recommendations on what you should do starting now to get ready to participate in the competition. So what is it? Well, the New Venture Competition at GW is one of the largest in the country. There's a recent survey that's come out that shows that it's the third largest in the country. 2021 will be our 13th year. We've been doing this since 2009. And last year was the biggest ever. There were 206 teams that participated, 428 participants, and we use 175 judges to review the applications at various stages and 27 mentors. So it's a big deal. It's run in three tracks. So the competition is really three independent competitions. One for technology ventures, that is ventures that have some proprietary technology of their own. And these are commercial ventures. The other commercial track is for new ventures, which essentially is ventures that don't have a proprietary technology. And then we have a separate track for social ventures. Last year, we gave out over $500,000 in unrestricted cash and in-kind prizes. And it is a GW-wide competition. It is teams from every school participate in the competition. The School of Business is the most represented. About 35% of the participants come from the GW School of Business, but 65% don't come from the School of Business. Did I mention there were cash prizes? Yes, there are. Oh my goodness, that's Jerry Maguire saying, "Show me the money." Here's the way the money is structured. The first prize in each track gets $10,000. There are 9 runners-up, 3 in each track, to get an additional $5,000, and then there are specialty prizes that layer on top. So on the day of the finals, we will pick an audience choice winner. There's a voting online mechanism for the few days before, and some team will win that money. There's a prize money for the best undergraduate venture, the best women's led venture, a special prize, $7,500 prize for the best international social venture. There also are some new prizes this year. One from the best built environment. There are 2 foodie prizes, one for the best food venture, $5,000, another one for the best innovative food venture. Another new prize is one from an alumna has given us money for a prize for the best venture associated with the Multicultural Business Student Association. So if you're not a member of that association, you should join right away and get connected with those folks. Another way to win prizes. There's one for workplace innovation. There's one for veterans and spouses of veterans. And again, another new prize this year, very timely. There's a $5,000 prize for the best venture that addresses issues or needs or solutions to problems related to the COVID-19 pandemic. So lots and lots of ways to win prizes. within the tracks and the specialty prizes, and of course those can add up. So it's a great opportunity. So Scott, why don't you tell the group how it works?
Sure, happy to do that. Thank you, Lex. So we've got some new things this year. First, we've increased the team size to 5. It was 4 last year, and it's going to be 5 this year to incorporate larger size teams. So if you've got a team from different schools, or even having a professor on the team, things like that, you can now have up to 5. So that's a new thing for this year. And we run it in 4 different rounds. The structure of the new venture competition accommodates learning along the way, which I think is really important. The basic behind the new venture competition is that you're gaining skills throughout each submission process, leading up to, as Lex mentioned, winning cash and in-kind prizes. So the first thing to think about is, when is the first application due? So you have to enter the first application that is due on February 3rd, 2021 at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Time. If you get into the next round, which is our top 100 round, you will have about a month to come up with another set of submission criteria, which includes more of a business plan, feasibility study, and profit and loss statement. That is due February 25th, 2021, also at 1:00. We will have sessions in between the first submission and the second submission to help you create that those deliverables. So we will have sessions on that, feasibility, impact, understanding how your idea will work. And we encourage you to engage with our stable of mentors and coaches throughout this process. If you're lucky enough to get through round 2, the semifinalists will be round 3. That will be the top 36 teams out of each track. We keep the teams in their track all the way to the end. So we have new venture, tech, and social ventures. Round 3, because we'll be virtual in 2021, will be pitched via WebEx or Zoom in front of judges, and you will be essentially graded on multiple different criteria, which we'll go through later. And then if you're selected from that group into the finalist group, which will be the top 4 teams in each track, 12 in total, you will pitch essentially quasi live on April 14th in front of a different set of judges that will pick the finalists. If you are a finalist, you're automatically entered and will get some amount of money. The minimum would be $5,000. And then we have the award ceremony, which we show you and tell the world who has won the competition in the various different specialty prizes, which Lex mentioned, and first, second, and third, and fourth place prize. It's an amazing, fun show. We did it last year, streaming all across the country via Facebook Live. Lex, next slide, please. Great. This is to show you, this is our just a screenshot of our website, just to know that the due date is February 3rd. You just sort of see exactly the different criteria for each round and the dates. It's all on our website. I encourage you to go to our website and check it out. If you just Google search GW New Venture Competition, it's one of the first things that pops up. So I encourage you to do that. And this is a section on just what it's about and sort of your journey through the different rounds of the competition and what you'll gain along the way. Lex, next round, please. Great. So eligibility. Okay. Are you eligible? That's what everyone really wants to know. So first off, you need to be a GW student, whether you're full-time, part-time, graduate, undergraduate, international. If you're a degree-seeking student, you are eligible for this. Even if you graduated in the winter, you are eligible. So we look at it as the academic year is important here. So you are eligible. So you need to be made, it's a student-focused competition, and so we need to have student representation on each of the teams. In fact, we need to have 50% of the teams being GW affiliated in some way. So that's an important criteria you need to have. So if you have 5, for example, you're going to need to have at least 3 GW affiliated people on that team. Another thing to think about, you need to be student owned. Whether that, if you have an idea that it's already in the process, you need to make sure that at least 25% of your venture must be owned by a GW student or students. If you are a a nonprofit organization, which we have a few of those. Of course, you can't have ownership in those, but the makeup of the board needs to be at least 25%, and engaging with students and having them at least have high levels within that organization. You need to be 2 years old or less, and you need to have less than $2,000 in revenue. And then only another thing that's sort of new in the last couple of years is only GW students can pitch live. And what we mean by that is if you get into the semifinal or finalist round, you can't have a ringer come in from outside. Students need to pitch. It's part of a critical learning opportunity for students. They pitch their ideas. If you have a professor or somebody else on the team, they can answer questions that the judges may have, but they cannot pitch. We want to make sure that students get the opportunity to have that experience. Lex, next slide, please. Great. Key thing to think about, what is due round 1? So 3 things are submitted. You need to do it by February 3rd, 2021 at 1 p.m. Eastern time. A concise 50-word description of the venture. We're looking for that really sort of pithy, smart idea that's concise that judges can get and just get a general sense of it. The judges will read these. And then you will also create a description of your idea, venture, and the startup. There's different makeups. We'll talk about what that entails. It's only 1,200 words max, so it's not a humongous lift, but we really want to understand your idea from a better. And what's really helpful for the judges is this 2-minute video. We want you to record a video. It can be on your cell phone. It can be sort of a Zoom or WebEx, and you can record like we're recording today and record that and submit that. Judges look at those videos and to get a sense of the team and the team members. Next slide, please. Great. So what are you going to submit? So this is really where we get into what we want and what the judges want to see. And this is how you can help the judges sort of decide that your idea is good enough to go to the next round. So you want your company purpose. What is your product? What is your service? That's worth about 10%, or is worth 10% of what the judges are looking at. And it's only 200 words, so it's got to be pretty concise there. We really want to understand, the judges really understand the problem. This is key. Understanding the problem and the opportunity and the need you're going to address is vital to your success to getting to the next round. Who are the customers? Who are the beneficiaries? Who are the users of your venture? Identifying those early on so that judges get a clear sense of the problem from their point of view. We have a lot of different learning opportunities, workshops and boot camps leading up to new venture competition that you can take advantage of that go over these, identifying your customers, beneficiaries, and your users. This is vitally important that you understand the problem from their point of view. And then of course your solution. How are you going to solve that problem, right? Why is it better and different than other things out in the market? There always is competition. So understanding how your idea is better and different than your competition. I'm going to stop there and say that if you look at the problem and solution, that is 50% of what the judges are looking at. That's half. That's half. So you need to have those and focus in on those. If you want a little bit of a tip, I would really focus on understanding the problem and then what is your solution and how does that directly impact the customers, beneficiaries, and users. And that will get you the most of the way to getting into the next round. What's also important is the revenue model. So how are you going to make money? How does money come into your organization, right? And it's possible that you're very early on in an idea stage. That's okay. What we want you to think about is just how you will sell your idea, who you sell it to, what is your possible, how much will it cost? If you don't know that, that's okay. You can always search up who a competitor is and looking at sort of what is a model that others have used and extrapolate from that on your idea. We know that it's not fully formed at this point, but we want to get a sense of how you're going to buy, how people are going to buy and sell your product and service. And we also want you to be creative. What about your solution is creative? How did you come up with it? Why is it distinctive? This is an innovation and entrepreneurial competition. We want to see innovative and new creative ideas, right? So putting that in is important. And then finally, team. Who are your team members? We want to see from that, the judges want to see sort of a well-rounded group. Let's say your You want to focus on creating an app, for example. You probably want to have on your team someone who's maybe developed an app or is a UX or UI designer, right? Judges are looking for a well-rounded team that has the experience and expertise to pull this off. And if you don't have that on your team, you can always say you are looking for team members in that to identify that. That's worth 15%. So just knowing who your team members are and how that relates to your solution is going to be really important. I mean, it's really great that they may pay water polo or lacrosse or something like that, but if it's not relevant to your solution, the judges are going to say, well, that's really great, but you want to tie it back to your solution, right? That you have the skills and expertise necessary. So that's your overview of what you will be submitting. Yes, Lex, thank you. Please go to the next slide. So best practices. So, you know, like I said, we've laid it out. Go to our website, read the instructions, study the criteria. There's a lot of good information on there. Know about your customers, users, and beneficiaries, as I mentioned before. Clearly state the products and services and the benefits of that impact your customers. Compare it to what else is going on in the marketplace, who you're competing against. Many people say, I'm not competing against anybody. No one's doing this. Well, that's not exactly true, and judges will see through that. Here's a little tip. The tip is whatever the current situation is what you're competing against, right? Regardless if it's not the same exact product, but slightly different, you're always competing against the way it's done right now. So making sure that you say that. Judges definitely have the red flag saying, no one's done this before. This is brand new. Judges are going to see through that. So making sure that you're aware of the current climate of what you're, where you're operating. Think more, write less. I think less is always more in some cases. We're not giving you a ton of space in here. So think about what you want to say to the judges first, second, third, and make sure you're communicating that. And then for the team, we've got Washington crossing Delaware here. Getting a great team to do the work. Better to have multiple team members. Find a team members. We have opportunities for you through the Innovation Exchange to interact with other students. Also, we have some great workshops and things coming on in January, so you can interact, including our winter camp as well, where you can interact with other students to collaborate on building a team. We love to have team members that come from different GW schools. They often do very well in our competition. And for the team, you know, like I said before, describe the skills that each team member brings to the venture and make that relatable to your solution. Next slide. Great. So a couple words about the video. Does not have to be highly produced. It's okay. It's okay. We want to see you and the team members as part of this while you're passionate about it and able to explain your idea concisely, right? We want to make sure that you understand it, why you're doing it, and some things, and bring about some things in the video that you may not have written in your submission. You can check out some sample videos of good ones. Like I said, some people are just sort of talking heads like we're doing now. Others are more polished. Like I said, it doesn't matter as long as you're able to communicate your idea. We want to see you, and judges do look at the video. It's one of the first things they do. So making sure that you have a quality video in there as well. There's also ways how to post it on our submission site, etc. And so it's a Vimeo or YouTube, both work. And then I would say get advice. Get advice before you submit. We have our mentor in residence program who are here virtually, and they're a fantastic grouping of people that can help you with your idea and get you prepared for the new venture competition. We also have our Near Peer program, which is current GW students who are our fellows who have gone through New Venture and other programs. They're great at giving advice on, from a student perspective, how this has impacted them and what to expect. And of course, we have our GW Innovation Exchange. This is a online platform where you can connect with other students, also connect with experts and other people in your possible vertical or industry. They are there, they're willing to help. You can sign up, the search function is very good. And you can search under healthcare, you can search under environment, you can search under global pandemics and see what kind of people pop up. They're willing to talk with you. They're great industry experts. And if you talk with them, talk about that in your submission. Hey, we talked to some experts here and this is what they told us, right? They also could be your possible customers and they're willing to be interactive. So it's a great resource for you. It will strengthen your application process. Lex, next slide.
All right.
Great.
let me take over. Thank you, Scott. Let me give you some advice now going forward. It comes in 4 categories. One is to get your team formed, and I'll talk about that. Second thing I'm going to urge you to do, to start your application. Start it right now. There are great courses still openings in spring courses, and you should think about them. And then Scott has mentioned several ways that you can get help, and I'll talk about all of those quickly as we go through this. So Scott mentioned the Innovation Exchange. This is the online community. Go join the Innovation Exchange. It's very easy, and everything here is at innovation.gwu.edu. 2 things you can do there. One is you can find mentorship. You can find expert advice. You can also find team members. So the Innovation Exchange has several hundred student members in there. Roughly half of them are looking to join a team, and the other half are looking for teammates. So it's a place where you can find teammates to complement you, and also good advice. Go right now and enroll in the competition. Take your idea, put your first draft in there. It's at newventurecompetition.gwu.edu. The platform is run by UNoodle, and you just click here to start. It's very easy. You have until February to revise and update your application. So go put a draft in there. You can use that as a basis for discussing it with other people and getting lots of advice. This does not have to be secret. It doesn't have to be something you do on your own. The courses, I was able, without too much trouble, to find 16 or so great courses that you can take all across GW in the spring semester. Our friends in Cochrane have 4 really good students, good courses. Human-centered design. Erica Wortham is doing 2 courses in that area. Carmen Montoya is doing the engagement lab, and Kevin Patton has the collaborative design project. These courses are all available to you. In human social justice, there's a course on nonprofit organization and management. Dick Donnelly is doing an innovation ventures course in the School of Business in the information systems technology management. There's one on emerging technologies from Elias Karianis. And in the law school, Jeremy Pam is doing a law student. Iman, our good friend Iman is offering 2 great courses, creativity and innovation, that front end that is so important. And then the ecosystem tied to the sustainable development goals. Kathy Corman Fry and Stuart Levy are also doing courses, as is George Solomon. And then finally, even in CPS, there's a course on the business of publishing. And in C's, Erica and Dio, she too are doing an engineering for social innovation. So lots of places to get course credit. The beauty of many of these courses is they are tied directly to the New Venture competition, right? So you can use these courses as a place to work on your venture submission with the help of the outstanding faculty members at GW. It's a great opportunity, great resource for you. So go get help. I'm going to talk about the mentors and residents, the near peers, the lean innovation workshops, and a whole bunch of activities and workshops that are planned specifically to support the New Venture competition. Let me go through them quickly. There are 8 mentors and residents who do office hours every week, 2 to 4 hours a piece each week. It's a wide range of a diverse group of experienced entrepreneurs and investors with experience in all sorts of categories. So there are social entrepreneurs, there are tech entrepreneurs, there are people who are experts in finance, there are people who are experts in civic engagement activities, international development people. You just go to the website, innovation.gwu.edu, under the Mentors and Residents program. You sign up for office hours. They half an hour or an hour-long session. Take your idea, take your draft to them. Go talk to them. Go pick their brain. Find one that you like. Talk to many of them. Really smart people, easy to approach. We've picked them because they're such nice people. Alternatively, you can talk to students. We have 5 near peers. These are students who are fellows in our office. They've all participated in the New Venture competition. They know all the ins and outs, all the resources, and they can give you a student perspective on stuff, right? They know the ins and outs of these things. On the same website, you can find the near peer programs, and it's the same procedure. Schedule a half-hour office hours and talk to these smart friendly students. See what they think. Get their advice. One workshop that we run that I would recommend highly is the Introduction to Lean Innovation. This is a 3-hour workshop that we do each month. We do it on the 3rd Friday of the month. And it's focused on that really important piece that Scott mentioned early on, which is knowing your customers, getting out and meeting them, and validating, getting into the ideas that you have. Show some evidence that these customers really will benefit from the solution that you're providing from them. And this is a 3-hour workshop that introduces those concepts and shows you how to do that. There are 2 sessions that run that will help you directly in the New Venture competition. One before it starts. So the January 15th one is one I recommend to everybody. 3 hours on a Friday afternoon, and there's also one in February and each month after that. But these are the 2 that will matter to you guys. I strongly recommend sign up for this 3-hour workshop. Now there are a whole lot of other activities. And these are tailored to meet the needs of the various submission rounds of the New Venture competition. Scott's running the Winter Innovation Camp this year. So everybody's going to be stuck at home in COVID land. I know it's before school starts, but if your parents are driving you crazy, this is something you can do. Sign up for the Innovation Camp. It's a place where you can take your idea, work it out, get some advice, and then actually do a practice pitch at the end of the camp. And I think there's prize money. Scott, aren't you giving out awards for this year?
There are cash awards.
Yeah, so a fun thing to do. Great to do as to improve your submission to the New Venture competition. Take that idea. Scott's also doing Human-Centered Design workshop on the 19th. Again, before the submission, we have doing a program with the library with Joshua Gleason on how to do professional looking videos. There's lots of resources at GW to help you make a good video. The whole Adobe suite of products are just amazing. Josh is going to do a workshop on that. We also do 2 sessions that we call NVC 101, very much like this, the mechanics of the competition. We'll do those twice in January. But I'll notice that all of those are before the first submission. Those are all things to help you with your initial submission. Subsequently, we do workshops on the deliverables for the next round. So there's a workshop on the feasibility analysis. There's a workshop on doing finances. Maybe for business students, that's not a hurdle. For students from other parts of GW, they're intimidated by doing a pro forma income statement. So one place where you can help them. But there is a workshop on that. We do a workshop on the business model canvas, and then Scott's going to do another workshop on designing a pitch deck, how to make an effective set of slides to pitch to judges. So all things you can take anytime, you can do them anyway, but I hope you see how they're feathered into to match the needs just in kind of a just-in-time fashion for the New Venture competition. So the only last thing I would say is go to our website, sign up for the newsletter. The newsletter is the single best way to stay in touch with us. It comes out every week and has lots of interesting and informative information. With that, I'll quit. I'll show Scott's picture again, and there's his contact information. Don't hesitate to reach out to him. And there's me. I'm happy to talk anytime, any place. So don't be shy about doing that. And with that, I think I will pull up the video and we'll call it quits. Yeah? All right, let's do that.
When we won first place and the money at the New Venture competition, it was a completely surreal moment.
Icosha! Congratulations, Icosha!
Thank you, Scott. That means just so much to us.
Viva Vida.
My heart is racing. It was just such an amazing feeling of accomplishment.
We walk up to the stage and they call our name for the New Venture track.
Sociology.
Like, okay, can you pinch me? Just like, did this really just happen?
Looking back at it, the NVC was a great opportunity and it definitely was a launch pad for us.
New Venture Competition is the flagship program for our office. It's been around for 12 years, and it is a spectacular student experience. It provides a tremendous amount of resources and opportunities to students who have an idea for some kind of a venture. Could be a social venture, could be a commercial venture, could be for-profit, could be not-for-profit.
Sometimes something's just a back-of-the-envelope idea when they're starting out in the competition. We coach the students, and through the process that we've developed, we are getting them to the point where they are launching fundable companies and doing amazing things.
You don't need to have incorporated a company yet. You don't need to have the product yet. You can walk in with an idea and you can win.
There are mentors that work with the teams. There are programs that help them build their business model. And of course, there's money. Last year, we gave out over $500,000 in cash and in-kind prizes, unrestricted grants to student startup teams.
For us, it was everything. By having that seed money to buy our initial equipment, we could actually go out and start trying our idea.
The George Washington New Venture Competition is a fantastic, only a GW experience. It is an interdisciplinary experience that involves students from all across the university.
We found that the judges were very supportive of our idea, and the mentors in the Office of Innovation and Entrepreneurship were very willing to meet with us whenever we needed help and support us along the way.
We had never received feedback on our business before. Being paired with a mentor is the best thing ever.
The New Venture Competition helped us quite a bit in generating media for the company. People know about us now. When we were hiring, it was suddenly a company that people want to work at.
I never imagined starting a company right after graduating. The New Venture Competition has put us in the spotlight.
You don't have to be a business student in order to create innovative products or be an entrepreneur. It's all about having passion for the idea and going after it, and everything will fall into place.
It gave my team a lot of confidence that somebody else had confidence in what we were trying to do.
It's hard to say if Viva Vida would be around today if it weren't for the NVC.
What the NVC has allowed us to do is dream.
Without it, this wouldn't have been happening. It wouldn't have been possible.
Lex, thank you very much. This has been exceptional. Scott, fantastic presentation. It takes a lot of the nuts and bolts on how to submit with a lot of resources, and it's a lot of work, but there's a lot of support and a lot of resources, and it really gives the opportunity to the students to engage and to learn. And maybe if they have a great idea, a great team, they identify a problem, they figure out a solution, both for profit and not for profit or for social good as well. It resonates well with everybody, especially during this time. So this is exciting. On behalf of the Department of Management, School of Business, we will promote this across our school, but across the whole university as well. We have a broad network of students, of alumni, of partners, so we'll make sure to spread the word. I want to thank you all for attending today's session. I appreciate it. Lex, any last closing points you'd like to share?
No, I think you've covered it all. We look forward to working with students all across GW and making them a big success.
Great, thank you. Thank you, everybody.